It's the engine on WNTH Radio and YouTube, 88.1 FM. Thanks for tuning in. Johnny Fogel alongside Nick Freeman and Nick Falk. We got Football Friday. We're really excited for the divisional playoffs. First 20 minutes, we're gonna be switching up. We're gonna be talking about the Saturday games, the Sunday games, last week games. Glad to have you with us. And let's get it going. And before we get anything started with this week, we got to talk about last week, how these teams have gotten there. So,
should we go? First 20 minutes, we'll do Saturday games, and while we're on the Saturday games, when we get to that team, we'll explain how they got there, in a way, and that'll be the first 20, second 20, approximately, will be the Sunday games and how they got there.
Yeah. Cool. So, on Saturday, we've got the 6-seeded Vikings coming off a big victory in New Orleans against the Saints, playing the 1-seeded 49ers. Before we talk about the matchups, like Nick said, we're going to be talking about how they got there, and how they got there was probably the most surprising victory of the weekend. It seemed like this was a no-brainer that the Saints were going to take care of business and go to Lambeau Field for a duel, Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers. But Kirk Cousins, after being 0-8 in the playoffs, didn't beat a single team with a winning record this year. Beat the odds, beat the Saints. How dangerous is this Vikings team?
They're very talented. Overall, they have a really solid front seven on defense. Danielle Hunter is one of the best edge rushers in the league. Eric Kendricks, one of the best linebackers. Kirk Cousins finally had his first big win in his career. It was about time. And Mike Zimmer, I think, is a really solid head coach. I was shocked to hear the Saints win also, and I would pick the 49ers this week. But they do have a lot of upside, a great defense when they play well. And Dalvin Cook and Kirk Cousins, when they're both playing at their full potential, are one of the best quarterback running back duos in the NFL. So I like this team a lot, especially coming out of an NFC, which I thought lost its front runner in the Saints, who they were able to defeat. If they're able to keep that same momentum up, they played pretty well last game. If they're able to keep that up, I think their route's not too hard, especially because we don't know how good this 49ers team is going to look in the playoffs. So I think they're pretty dangerous.
I want you to take this into consideration. The first, I believe, 5 or 6 games of the season, the 49ers were allowing 12.3 points per game in that ballpark, and that was the best in the NFL, maybe second best to the Patriots. Since then, they've been 27th, 28th around there in scoring, and they're allowing 27 points a game. The Vikings are the 9th best scoring offense in the NFL. How much does that factor into this game, that this 49ers defense is not as formidable as it's been in the past?
I don't think it factors in nearly as much. I don't remember. Yeah, the last few weeks they've played some really good offensive teams, so I think that obviously factors into that stat. But I think the most important thing for this game is that they have a lot of their players healthy and rested. Like Quan Alexander, he's coming back. I think he got injured like week 2.
Mm-hmm. That was a surprising return.
He'll be really good stopping Dalvin Cook. I mean, I honestly, we'll get into this later, but I don't think Kirk Cousins will have a big impact on this game. So I'm not worried about the 49ers defense at all.
So what's the key to victory for the Vikings in this game?
Running the ball with Dalvin Cook
and and silencing the crowd.
Because when they played the Saints, the Dalvin Cook run game did work. You know, they're really strict on the run. They have a new offense coordinator, I believe, Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, running oriented.
They don't have one of the best offenses stat wise, but it's very efficient. When Dalvin Cook was playing the Saints, it almost seemed like he would either lose 2 yards because the Saints could predict the run,
or he would like 9.
Yeah, he would have like a 9 or 10 yard gain with those big holes. I think that's important to this game. I also think we don't know about the 49ers in the playoffs at all.
Yeah, that's my thing with this.
It's a very important factor.
Exactly. This Vikings team has been there. They're experienced. I mean, obviously, Kirk Cousins, he silenced a lot of his doubters. I was very impressed by how he was playing. Adam Thielen is questionable, but he'll probably be playing on Saturday.
By the way, he got stitches at practice.
He got stitches because his ankle was cut open on by a cleat. This Vikings team has been very surprising. After they played the Packers, I really had my doubts about this Vikings team. They were completely the crowd was taken out of the game. The Packers came in there and took care of business, but the Vikings have proved everybody wrong against the Saints. I could easily see a scenario where the Vikings win this game. They get a lead early, and they take the crowd out of it. Jimmy Garoppolo's really, I don't know how well he can play from behind. He doesn't have the experience. We don't know yet with this 49ers team. I think with the momentum that the Vikings have, and I think I'm going to regret this. I don't know confidently if I can pick the Vikings, but I think I like taking the Vikings this week.
The reason I have the 49ers is, even though this is their first season and playoff relevance, they've experienced a lot. They're still a young team, but what you said, they started out with that lockdown defense. They've switched it off to playing some of the best offenses in the NFL. For example, their last 6 games have been Green Bay, Baltimore, New Orleans, Atlanta,
Yeah.
the Rams, and Seattle, which are all high-flying offenses. And they've been able to both win those low-scoring games and the shootouts.
Yeah.
Garoppolo's looked really solid, and he has the weapons. George Kittle is one of the best offensive players in the NFL.
That's true.
You can argue with me about that later if you disagree.
No, I agree with you.
Just the way he blocks and is able to be
And
such a great pass catcher.
Yeah, his pass catching ability.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is so dangerous.
Yeah.
They have a run game. We've talked about this on the show, but that run by committee with about 4 really explosive running backs, in a way, with a good offensive line, can equal one Dalvin Cook, which is super effective.
I think it's more than one Dalvin Cook. I think that's what's going to separate the 49ers from the Saints in this scenario, because what the Vikings did to stop the Saints was they shut down Michael Thomas.
Which
That's
is
what they had to
unbelievably
do.
hard to do.
Yes, but how can you, there's no what you, if you
There's no
shut
one
down
guy
George
for it.
Kittle, that doesn't stop the
They still have
49ers.
Deebo Samuel. They still have Raheem Mostert. They
Emmanuel
still have
Sanders.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
They still have Tevin Coleman.
So-
Also, I don't think you can shut down George Kittle.
Yeah, it's also very hard to shut down George Kittle. So I think that the creative ways in which Kyle Shanahan organizes this offense is going to win the 49ers this game.
If there's a guy to shut down George Kittle, one guy, it might be Eric Kendricks. But the way Kittle uses his body
Yeah.
and is so physical and so fast also is such a matchup nightmare.
Yeah, and the most important thing for me is the running game. I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to stop this running game. Along with the other.
It's fair to say that they're not gonna be able to stop this running game, but they're not. I honestly think this Vikings up front is filthy. It's the same thing with the 49ers. It's gonna be going back and forth with the running. I think the 49ers obviously do have more running statistically, but I would argue that Dalvin Cook's the top 3 running back in the NFL. And you saw, I can't remember his name, Mike Boone. He was really good in Week 17 against the Bears. He had 150 yards.
Well, Madison's healthy now, so he's taking that
too,
second.
Exactly. They can get a lot of running backs involved too. Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs. You saw Kyle Rudolph last week. The Vikings have a lot of weapons. You just can't count them out of this game. I think this is going to be a really close game for the duration.
What's your score pick?
What's my score pick? I think I'm going to have to go. This is tough. 24. No, I'm going to go 27-21 49ers.
You switch to the 49ers pick?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 49ers. It's the momentum at home, but it's going to be close throughout the game. I could see the Vikings having a lead, but the 49ers. See, the thing was the Saints came back late, and they can't really control getting the ball in overtime, and I don't like the overtime rules. That's not what this is about. But the Saints had chances to be in that game, and the 49ers aren't going to mess up those opportunities. The 49ers can be in shootouts if they need to, and they can be in the low-scoring games. They've proven it against the Saints and the Ravens.
Yeah, I think the 49ers being rested is extremely important for this game. I think even in those weeks where I think you said they have the 20th ranked defense, it's just that they've been banged up against all these offenses. This is going to help a lot. Getting Quan Alexander is going to help a lot. I think they're going to be able to shut down the Vikings. I think I'm looking more towards 27-14.
Ooh, mine was 30-14.
Yeah.
I picked, so yeah, mine's very similar to his.
Historically, I've been better at picking than you guys have. So
maybe in the NFL. College football now. But
college football now.
I don't know. We haven't really had much experience.
True. We need to track that a little more.
Moving on to the next game. On Saturday, Titans, after beating the Patriots, is the dynasty over? Not the conversation we're having, but Titans coming in to play the top-seeded Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson, the MVP front runner. How do you guys feel about this game? Just initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts? There's a lot of doubts about Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. It's his second year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Second year in the playoffs, and he did horribly last year. He had maybe 5 completions.
It was the Chargers.
The Chargers.
He was brutal. He
and
lost.
all the Baltimore fans wanted them to put Joe Flacco in the game, and they refused to do it. I think this year, though, the Titans were really impressive against the Patriots.
Do not count the Titans out of this game. I'm not going to let you pick 30-14 again. The Titans will be in this game. I guarantee it. This is going to be a close game.
I don't know what Ryan Tannehill can do to the secondary.
Ryan Tannehill has proven time and time again.
I think Ryan Tannehill is not my problem with it. I think
what I'm saying is if Derrick Henry was a workhorse against the Patriots, you know for a fact the Ravens are going to make Ryan Tannehill do more work than having less than 75 yards last game.
But the Patriots have a better defense than the Ravens do.
They didn't play like it last time.
They really didn't, but that's because Derrick Henry was able to get yards early on and establish the pace and the mood that they wanted to play at. If the Titans can do that early on, the Titans can totally win this game. 100%.
But it goes even more for this. The Titans have a insane run defense or run offense,
but the Ravens have an even better,
historically
not even
insane,
the best run offense in history.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were saying it the other way around.
No, the Ravens have the best run offense
Yeah.
in history. They broke the record, but here's the thing: you can't stop Lamar Jackson. Okay?
Yeah,
You
that's
cannot
what I was
stop
about
him.
to get
You
to.
cannot stop him. But if you can slow him down and make him throw it a little more, that's how the Titans are going to win this game.
And also, back to the point with the Ravens running offense, when you look at this Tennessee Titans roster around their defense, they have some fast guys.
They really do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they have some good big guys up front. Jarrell Casey, he's going to be able to stop some of those run plays. But,
Jeffrey Simmons.
yeah, but he was a great draft pick, by the way.
Mhm.
But I think the more I think about it with Lamar Jackson, the more I trust him in the playoffs, actually.
He has something to prove. He knows he has something to prove.
Yeah.
Don't count this Titans team out. I think this Ravens team is built to win in more ways, and they're playing at home, and they have all the momentum. They're coming in on how many? 10 wins in a row, something like that.
Yeah.
10 wins in a row.
12.
Which I'm not.
Whoa.
No. It's not
12.
No, yeah, I think you're
12,
right.
Yeah, 12 wins in a row.
I meant like, whoa.
I'm not
like,
huge on the giant win streak coming into the playoffs, but this team has all the momentum in the world. If it's a closer game, I think that I really don't know. I'm gonna pick the Ravens because
You have a score?
it's an easy pick. I think I'm gonna go. I like 2017 Ravens. I think it's going to be close. Both
Okay.
defenses are really good, and I think they can slow down Lamar for a
I
little bit.
definitely agree with that. I'm thinking somewhere near there.
Yeah.
Maybe like 24-17.
It's going to be close.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this game.
I think this Tennessee Titans team was not the sixth best team in the AFC, even though they were the sixth seed.
Okay.
They're a really talented team all around. They've been riding a lot of momentum.
Well, I think that's because Marcus Mariota.
Since they put Tannehill in, they've been a completely new team. So this isn't a normal 9-7 team. At the same
They could have
time,
won the division if Tannehill had played earlier.
they probably would have.
Is what Nick.
Yeah, sorry, that was a little unclear.
Yeah,
And with the Ravens, though, they're 14-2. They've been historically great this year.
they have.
They've played in almost no really close games.
Yeah.
And I really just don't think you can pick against the MVP by a ton in his first matchup. This is his first playoff matchup, in my opinion, because he's a completely new player this year than last year. He has a new chance to rewrite that narrative of him not doing well in the playoffs. It's a night game in Baltimore. I think I'm going to go the Ravens 33, Titans 17.
Yeah, and we haven't seen this Lamar Jackson offensive style because that's basically the Ravens' offense stopped yet. So I think that's the biggest point of emphasis.
I think that if the Ravens are held under 150 yards rushing, the Titans will win.
They won't be, though.
If Derrick Henry runs for less than 100 yards, then the Ravens will win
Yeah,
easily.
well, I think
It's very run dependent.
it's pretty obvious that this game is run dependent because this
Same with the Vikings.
identity.
Same with the Vikings 49ers game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I'm picking the Ravens. We're all picking the
We're all
Ravens.
picking the Ravens.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be back shortly to talk about the Sunday games. You're listening to The Engine on YouTube and WNTH Radio 88.1.